Good morning. So what I want to talk about is one, hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Uh it's weird, you know, this whole time, this all this COVID stuff and lockdown and just tension in the world, like everything's different, you know. And the truth of the matter is it's never going back to what it was, and you know, in some ways that may be for the better, to be honest. I think the biggest thing I'm noticing is, you know, the shift and the dynamics of how different these generations are, and it's showing now. You used to, the kids are going around, okay, boomer and all this stuff, and yeah, but what you have to understand at a core is a lot of things aren't going to go away, but the intensity of those things are going to fade away. As far as racial things and that sorts. You have people that all of these people that started all this racial stuff and riled it all up and stuff like that. And they try to keep it all going, and then they just pass that hatred down to generation and generation and stuff. Well, what's happening is this new generation, um, for the lack of a better term, doesn't really care. You know what I'm saying? People were more so individuals in their identity, but their herd, their herd thought process when it comes to uh, more so like racial things and social issues and stuff. It's really not a lot of it's not a lot of like, black or white. It's a lot of black, white, and gray, and it's this new generation. They're with the new generation. I mean, like these kids that are coming up that are, under, I don't know. I'd say the kids that are under 12, 13, they're going to be the smartest generation, I feel, of my time. And the generation prior to that, I'd say my oldest is daughter generation. They're the movers and shakers. I feel like they're the ones that are going to change the world, you know, and then the rest of them are going to come behind and just make it even better. But I think the current generation, which is my generation right now, we're the ones that are the cord cutters. We are the ones that are the uh, the difference makers. We are the ones that are going to be the start of probably the biggest entrepreneurial buzz ever in history, because we're the ones in this generation that decided to do it on our own. We wanted to be self-made. I'm self-made, you know. A lot of my homies self-made. A lot of you know what I'm saying? And what that means is, for lack of a better term, nobody nobody gave me a head start in what I'm doing that makes me successful. You understand what I'm saying? Self-made. Like no daddy's money, no daddy's connect, no homies, none of that. Self-made. Like my bread, my connect, all my shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. You know, you know, taking what you want, building your own path, and running with it. You know what I'm saying? That's self-made, and and I'm not a part of no. no multi-level marketing or no pyramid schemes or any of this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like I do what I do. That's really all that need to be said. But anyway, the thing that I'm getting at right now is the no one's gonna get anywhere they are unless they're faced with adversity. Sometimes it needs to be multiple times. Sometimes it needs to be over and over and over again because a lot of people don't, it doesn't phase them. They think that, they don't think this shit is real because they haven't been hit with that situation that's made them, let's see, they haven't been hit with the situation this made them sick enough to their stomach that they was willing to do anything to get themselves out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the, I call it the down bottom. If you ain't hit the down bottom, you can't really rise from the top. You know, I've seen that shit so many times. I've witnessed it with other people. I've seen people at their bottom and, just watch them fight and claw their way out. And hats off to them. You know what I'm saying? Every trip. It's not about, they say this shit ain't me. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up, blah blah blah. But it's not how many times you get up. It's the one time you get up and you change your life, you know. Because if you keep doing the same shit and you keep falling, you keep get back up and falling and you're doing the same shit, that's wash, rinse, and repeat. That's ridiculous. That's not the way. The adversity is what builds you. The roadblocks is what builds you. You have to learn how to change your mindset. That's the key. You know, your mindset is everything today. It's really your mindset. It's really your point of view. It's all POV. It's all first person. It's all what am I looking at? How do I see things? So if let's see. Okay. When I moved into my house, I had all of these plans and stuff, and then life happens and you have to change your plans. Well, I didn't want to sleep in my bedroom because the bedroom was painted some weird Beetlejuice type, multicolored blue color stripes, some weird stuff. So that was my point of view. My point of view was I can't sleep in here with these stripes. That's what I saw. I said, well, we have to change that. So to change it, you have to paint. You have to paint over it. You have to paint over. You have to do the hard work to, tape the wall off and prep the area and paint and go one coat, another coat, and make sure it's right. And after you do all of that, now we have a new point of view. Same room, same area, but now the point of view has changed. That's that's mental. By me understanding that, it helped me change my point of view about the world. And what I mean by that is I was able to, while I'm sitting at home, hurt, damaged, disabled, whatever they're trying to label me as, while I'm sitting here, going through my roadblocks and my adversity and stuff, and realizing that I'm not going to be able to do things the way I used to do things. It, I had to figure out how am I going to get through this, and it was all about changing my point of view. So my point of view of the world at that time had been to just wake up in the morning, go to work, be a part of the system, collect a check, blah, 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 and deal with all of the nuances that comes with that, good, bad, up, down, all of it. Okay. Well, I've had I've had multiple jobs in my life. I've never I've never been at any of those jobs. I've never been at any of those and said to myself, I see myself here for 40 years and retire and all of this shit and getting a watch and being at a retirement party. I never, none of that, because I've always been my own person. Okay. Hindsight's 2020. Looking back at it, every job I've had, every opportunity I've had has prepared me and put me in the position that I am today to be able to have this new POV, this new mindset, this new first person view. You know, I know my value and my worth today. But to get through that, I had to go through these mental roadblocks and get over these mental hurdles and these mental blockades, and I had to get past the adversity. I pretty much had to change how I view the world. And I've always known this. It's something I've known forever. Anytime that I've enjoyed life and I've done most of the things I've wanted, well, the most important things I've wanted, it's because it's been at the volition of me. And what I mean by that is it wasn't because of what I was doing at a job. It's what I was doing with my business and with my company and with my hustling. That's what it came from. You know, I'm not here to boast or brag or any of that, and it might come out that way, but I come from the worst conditions when I look at my group of peers and my friends in the circle that I associate with. You know, I'm supposed to be the least successful of everyone. You know, and I come to be the one to do everything first. You know, because of the adversity, because my drive is just slightly, it was just slightly more, but my pressure that was placed on me was a lot more. And you go through these roller coasters in life, and these things they make adjustments to you. So it's modes where everything is all with it. Everything has to have that balance, but there's times where you know you could be more work mode than dad mode. But then you got work mode, dad mode, husband mode. It's you know, and I used to think that these were all separate things, and it's not. It's really just one. You know, it's just about you recognizing who you need to be in these situations for these individuals and these people that you're interacting with. You know, being a chameleon, and that's that's how I've always had success, knowing how to react and not react, you know, in a lot of important situations in my life. And, it's funny, as you get older, you start to realize, you start to question your mortality and all of this stuff. And then everybody wants to seek out God and be better people and be with their family and all of this shit. And yeah, that's sweet. I get it. New Year's is coming up. Everybody gonna have a New Year resolution and all of this shit. Wash, rinse, repeat. I get it. But I'm here to tell you all of this shit is nonsense. Like, it's all nonsense. You know, not saying, fuck the world and all of this other shit, but listen to what I'm saying. There's no timetable for your life, your success. Like, who the hell knows what your timetable is? Your girl don't know. Your kids don't know. Your work don't know. Who knows what your timetable is? The only person knows what your project is you. What the plan that you have. You know what I'm saying? Only person knows is you. So if you're not if you're not doing the things that you want to, you know, be speeding up your process or to be on that path to even have a timetable, you know, to have something laid out to be so that you can get up and you can do what you want to do instead of what you have to do. Don't let don't get sucked into other people's bullshit. Don't let what other people have going on force your hand and you're like, oh man, I gotta go do that shit too. Maybe these people got a completely different set of skills than you. So maybe you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So balance, you know, if sometimes you don't know. And that's fine too, but it all really comes back to adversity. If you're not really dealing with any adversity and everything's just okay, then you're in that comfort zone. That's a dangerous place to be because you could be in that comfort zone for like 25, 30 years and then wake up one day and you're about to retire from the job and you don't remember what you wanted to do. And then you're 60 years old and you're like, man, I wanna open a flower business or I don't know, whatever the hell you want to do. I want to start a car wash or whatever the hell it is. I don't know, but you know, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But what I'm hearing a lot, from messages and things like that is everybody wants to do something else, you know, and a lot of people are just afraid, because they're stuck in the same POV. And, if you're stuck in the same POV, then you're going to be dealing with the same POV problems. You know, it was, it was nice. It's nice as hell to be disconnected from the matrix. It's nice as hell to be disconnected from the system that controls you. You know, I don't have a boss or managers or people that I gotta answer to and just all of that nonsense. It's just a different burden off my chest. I don't have this second family and these people that you call friends, and then half of them are shady, and half of them you got to deal with, and some you hate, and it's just I don't. It's just that's not for me. You know, I'm not a loner, anything like that. That shit is not for me. I'm my own person. I've always been a self starter. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. You know, I mean, I remember being in 11th grade, and you know, just getting tested and finding out that I was smarter than everybody fucking around me, and given a task to say, yeah, don't tell people about that. Don't tell people about that stuff because then they'll look at you different and stuff like that. And you got to walk around and be like, I'm smart as shit, but I can't tell nobody about it. And then you got the pressure of the world on you, and you're 16, and you're a dad, because you're the oldest of your siblings and shit, and it's just you never get to enjoy your life, you know. So it takes you longer to find out who you really are, and you get to a point where you find some comfort, and you get to a point where you have to make a decision. Am I going to go to sleep another night and wake up not fulfilled, knowing that I am wasting my time doing whatever the hell I'm getting ready to go do today? Or do I feel like what I'm doing is bringing value to the world? You know, the service that I'm providing, is this something that I can in my notch of things and say, I know I was doing this because, hey, I needed the money and we were starving, or, because I felt good about it or because it was the fucking struggle. But as long as you can answer to that, you good. But I'm doing it because this is what you're supposed to do. You gotta go to work. You gotta have a job. You don't have to be a part of the system. You can go about it other ways. All of the things that you love, all of the things that you value, all this material shit, all of these people that created these things went against the system. They went against the system. I fucking love sneakers. I love I'm a sneakerhead. I love shoes. I love technology. I love all of this shit. But if Michael Jordan didn't have adversity and he didn't get cut from his basketball team, then there would be no fucking Michael Jordan. That story would play out different. And we would all probably, be wearing fucking Clyde Drexler's or whatever the fuck, whoever this next best player was. I don't fucking know, but that's the whole thing. Because of that adversity, it pushed this guy to another level. Same thing. High school. It all starts at that time. If LeBron didn't lose that fucking state championship that year, he would have came back and went as hard as he did, and here we are today. So adversity. You have these moments in life where, you know, that shit changes you forever. And when you can get to a point where you can look back and recognize it and say, hey, I was changed this point, that point, that point, that's growth. You on the right path. But if you don't know, if you like, I mean, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do, then you lost. And you gotta talk with somebody. And or you just gotta sit down and just do a self-evaluation and say, hey, what is it that I wanna do? Am I happy with what I'm doing every day? You know, adversity is it's good and bad. I think you need that. I think it builds character. I think that shit, that's the real world. That's the real world. You know, you you need to be tested. You need to see how tough you are. You need to see if you built for the things that you want to do. A lot of people wanna be in charge of shit, and until it's time to make the big decisions. You know, it's just like the people watching the boxing matches and say, "Man, if it was me, I'd have did that." Yeah, you can say that shit until you get punched in the face. Like, it's easy from the other side of the table, but a lot of people aren't even at the table. You know, I always go back to the story I heard from homie. And it's just I just it's the look. I don't want to get on a tangent. Adversity now plays a different role in your life. If you have kids and you may be, because of the way that you do things and how hard you go and the success that you have, or you're attaining or whatever, you may be putting unwanted adversity on your kids at an unneeded time, you know, not even knowing, just because the lack of conversations and stuff, you know. Um, these kids, this new generation is a little bit, I mean, not a little bit, they're a lot different. And I feel like a lot of times parents are trying to push these things that they couldn't do onto their kids and stuff. You know, like if the dad didn't wasn't able to go to the NBA, now he's trying to get his kid to go to the NBA or play some type of sport, like, live through them and stuff. I get it. We seen the movies, we know how that shit works. But I think the fairest thing is to say really to the kid, what do you want to do? What do you care about? What do you love? That's the fair thing. You know, just because these kids have your DNA, it doesn't mean that they're you. They're still their own people. They're still their own people. Look at Michael Jordan's son and look at him. Look at that pressure. Like, imagine the pressure. Like, your dad is the best player to ever touch a basketball, and you were supposed to be the next best player. That's a lot. That's a lot. And these kids don't have that adversity. They don't have that adversity. The adversity is their dad, but they don't have that adversity of like poor, struggling, fucked up life conditions. They don't have that adversity, so they're only gonna be so tough. It's just fucking common. It's just fucking common knowledge. Two guys that are 50 years old. You got a 50-year-old guy that works at fucking Morgan Sachs, fucking finance, okay? And then you got a 50-year-old guy that's a retired fucking boxer. And both of these guys have made 40, $50 million in their fucking lifetime, okay? One of these guys, you don't even know his fucking name, and this other guy is Mike Tyson. Both men, you know what I'm saying? Different fucking backgrounds, success, but in different ways. This guy clearly came from a different background, and then this guy was clearly raised a completely different way. That's what we're getting at. Your your differences separate you, but your differences also make you a lot alike. You know, people just gotta. It's all POV. It's all POV. We can help these kids if we're just listening more. You know what I'm saying? We can help these kids if we just stop being so self-absorbed and just shut the hell up and say, "Go ahead, tell me what's going on," and just shut the hell up. Like, we can help these kids more by sometimes just sitting there and being there and not really saying anything. Like, hey, can I just sit here with you? Can I just be here with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just do so much more by just being a presence. That's it. I mean, some of these kids are self-centered. Some of them only care about money, and most of them only care about their phones and shit like that. But at the core of it, they all just want to be loved. They just, they want their voices heard. They want to know that their opinions matter. They want to know that they're valued. All of those things are important. Their generation is going to change the world, you know. But we got to get them there, you know. Don't let the adversity that you went through push and drive your kids, because your kids haven't probably, if you're doing okay and you're successful, your kids haven't had to deal with the same shit you had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that their shit isn't important. They might have had to deal with something different. Maybe they had to deal with racism, violence in school, friends die. Maybe they had to deal with something completely different. Maybe it wasn't crackhead moms and poor conditions. Maybe it's a completely different set of problems. But we need to be there as parents to recognize that adversity and to just step in and do something about that shit, you know? Because if you don't, there's going to be a lot of kids out here that are going to be, the Hannah Bakers of the world and shit like that, If you haven't seen it, Google it. But fucking pay attention. Pay attention. Don't let this material shit and all this bullshit that you can't fucking take with you. It don't fucking matter. Because I'm gonna tell you what, all of this shit that's seen for a moment is most likely forgotten forever until it's brought back up again. So that shit don't matter. It don't. The only thing matters is your comfort. The only thing that matters is your happiness. The only thing that matters is your health. The only thing that matters is your morals and your fucking values. The rest of this shit is irrelevant. It is all POV. If you see other people and they got better shit, you feel like the world says I should have better shit too, or I should have the same shit. So all you doing throughout your fucking life is trying to keep fucking leveling up to have more and more shit, and that's fucking adversity within yourself. Change your fucking POV, and then the differences that you have to make are only visual. Instead of you have to go buy a new fucking house, you're just painting the wall. It's a quick fix. You see what I'm saying? Instead of you sitting, instead of you, going off to, I don't know, I don't know what the fuck, those therapy spas so you can have a mental weekend and shit. Just call your mom and have a fucking conversation. Shit like that. So, take this as it is, but look. The pressures that you have upon you don't deserve to be placed upon your kids. Your kids are their own individuals, and I understand this more than anything. I'm not gonna burden my kids with my problems and my issues because that's my shit. Let them live their life, you know. Explain to them that you're dealing with things and stuff, but let them know that I want you to enjoy and live your life. They have to have their own experiences. That's what happens. You get parents that are overburdened with all of these past problems and these issues and stuff that they force some of their shit onto their kids, and then we end up with a cycle of new fucking races or new fucking assholes or new losers or new sociopaths or new shopaholics or new irresponsible financial people. Like, whatever the fuck the vice is, whatever it is, but you have to break those fucking cycles, and it starts with core values and shit. So, let's be smart. Let's act like the shit that's going on in the world matters to us. Let's not just say it, because a lot of people are like, oh man, when I get rich, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Well, I've seen it, and people aren't doing that shit. So, you know, keep that shit to yourself. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell people, what I got going on and what I got coming and shit like that. When it pops up, you'll know, and I'm not gonna need the points for it either. The fact that the shit is up and running is all the fucking notoriety I'm gonna need. You know, I've never need anybody to pat me on my back and say, "Hey Reese, you're doing a great job" and shit. I'm supposed to do a fucking good job. That's what's expected of me. That's what I expected myself. You know, thanks for the acknowledgement though. But that shit don't fuel me. We all burn with a different type of fuel. Mine is self-motivated. I've had these goals and this shit on these boards, on these walls forever. Mentally, and then, physically also, but I've always known I was gonna be doing what I was doing. I've always known I was gonna be in a position to change things and stuff, and and that feels good. It feels good to know that you're on a path that's, what I'm saying, that's for you, and you don't have people looking at you, and you're not concerned with how the world views you and stuff. It's like the best feeling in the world, having not being a slave to the system and the machine. That's the best feeling in the fucking world. So for me, that's what works. And whatever works for you, do that shit. Enjoy that shit. I'm out. Be safe.